Hi guys, I hope everyone's having an amazing month so far. If you're new here, by any chance, I'm Melanie. I do a variety of videos. This video will not be edited, so if there's any noises or I ramble on, then it's going to stay in here. This is an order from TreatBox. There is a £5 discount in the description if you would like a discount code. I think this is an autumn box or autumn mystery box. So they basically launched autumn mystery bags. I think it was a bag originally, and they sold out in like 16 minutes. And I went on to get one, totally forgot they were getting launched, and went on like half an hour after the launch, and they'd basically sold out. And then a week and a half, 2 weeks later, they launched a autumn mystery box. Now when the bag sold out, they basically said that they didn't want to put loads on because they didn't want to give out loads of random stock, you know, like just to get rid of the stock. They didn't want to make the boxes just basically rubbish because they were trying to get rid of stock, because obviously that's what they're ultimately doing. They're trying to get rid of the autumn stock, like autumn and Halloween items, because obviously they're not going to sell the Halloween items. They might still sell some of the autumn items, but they are very much focused on Christmas and like birthday gifts and other gifts. So I was surprised when a second drop dropped, and it wasn't announced on any social media. Just if you signed up to the website, if you've ever bought anything, then you get an email. So I got an email probably I think I saw it like 20-30 minutes after it was launched, and I was like, oh, probably going to go on and there's going to be nothing left. But then again, it wasn't announced, and unless you read your emails straight away, you wouldn't know. It did sell out that day, but I did manage to get one. I believe they were £18 including free next day delivery. They were put up on a Wednesday. So yeah, it was just Wednesday, so it would have been shipped Thursday to arrive Friday. Mine didn't arrive till the Saturday, and it was sent second class, even though on the listing it said first class shipping. So that was misinformation. And I know people are going to be like, well, you got it the day after. You shouldn't advertise it as next day shipping, like next day delivery, 24 hours, if you're going to send it 48 just to save some money, even though you're charging what you're charging for the box. So anyway, it has arrived, and I'm going to film it. Now we've finally got through that. I do like the autumn boxes. I wonder how long they're going to keep the orange boxes for, because technically they should be doing winter boxes. I've obviously unsealed it. Consider this a treat just for you. So there's a lot of shredded paper that's probably gonna go anywhere. You know what, I should do it like a lucky dip. Like, let's get the first item out. Now I know a lot of people basically ended up getting mugs and tote bags and things like that. So because of the size of the box, I was hoping for a mug, but when I lifted that up, there definitely is no mug in there. So the first item is the pumpkin spice, a comforting blend of mellow pumpkin spice, vegan friendly. And then 227 millilitres of the milk of your choice. That's really random amount, 227. Ingredients: coconut sugar, pumpkin powder, Ceylon cinnamon, ginger and black pepper. So there's not much ingredients in there, and it's disappointing because these sachets, I don't know how much they are, but say it's a maximum of £1 a sachet, and the boxes are meant to be worth more than what you've paid. So let's just say this is £1. The next item is Eat, Drink, Love Cocoa Bar Chocolate. I used to be subscribed to the monthly subscription Then I ended up with too many hot chocolate spoons. Then I cancelled it. But they are good. This is the orange chocolate one, which I've had before in a treat box last year. Might have been in the Halloween box last year. I'm not a big lover of orange flavoured food, drinks, except for pure orange juice, obviously. But I will drink this. These are £3.50 each. They might have gone up to £4, so let's just class this as £4. I also will say that sometimes TreatBox, especially with their own items, they think the own items that they bring in or make, well, not personally make, but have made for them, they think their products are worth more than they actually are, just from experience. So we'll put this at 4 and the other one at 5. So we're up to £5 out of 18. Prime example of a product that they make themselves, so they design them and these are made elsewhere. I've had coasters from them before. I've had a few actually, maybe 3. I actually do like them. I actually think they make these themselves because some of the things they make themselves, the designs always look like a bit blurred. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Obviously, like, that's more of like a Christmas saying, but this is an autumn kind of coaster. Now, I think they're going to class this as being worth £4 or £5, but for me personally, I'm going to say £3 because it is. But if you were buying a set of these, you would not pay £3 each for this sort of like thing. But we'll just say £3 plus 5, we're at £8. So the rest should be worth £10 or more. Oh, I like these. I know, like, people are going to say these are definitely Halloween themed. If you know, you know why I like these. I also love that they're purple. So they do actually make their own, well, they don't personally make them in-house, but they design their own socks. They class their socks as being worth £5 a pair. Now, I've had about 7 or 8 pairs of TreatBox socks, and I will say I wouldn't pay £5 a pair. Now, normally if you like go to the shop, like any kind of shop, if you buy an individual pair of socks just from normal sock like shops, I don't mean like branded ones, then most things like this are between £1 and £3 depending on the shop and depending on the quality. So I would place these at being £3 because they are actually quite a nice sock. I don't even know where all my TreatBox socks are because I did move nearly 7 months ago. I've not unpacked everything and there's things missing and I don't know where they are. I don't know if they're here and I've not unpacked them or what, but I did have about 6 or 7 pairs of TreatBox socks and I've not seen any since I've moved. And I wouldn't have worn them because I've like not been wearing anything where I'd want to wear ankle socks, but I need to find them. But yeah, I would class these as £3, but I know they're going to class them as £5 because they sell the socks at £5 a pair. And they do like boxes of socks and they're like £40 for like 8 socks, like pairs, not just, and I don't think it's worth it, but they obviously do. So they're going to class these as £5 and I'm not. I'm going to class them as £3, but based on the fact I know they're going to say they're £5, we're now up to 13. And there's only one item left. So this should be worth a £5. I can't even get it out because it's literally the size of the box and it's been squeezed in the bottom. It's a notepad and I can't get it. Why would I put that in when it doesn't? Oh, God. I can't get it out. That was a job. I've had quite a lot of TreatBox planners, notepads, weekly planners, monthly planners, etc. And they also design them. I do like them, they are actually decent quality. So they're basically saying this is worth £5 or more. I think they class these as being £5. Now, I wouldn't pay £5 for that, I'd pay £3 for it. So obviously they're saying this box is worth over £18. I'm saying at a push you could say 18, but I wouldn't price some of these things at the prices that they're pricing them at. I have used their planners, I've used their little notepads, and like I've literally gone through the notepads. I will say there is some kind of flaws with the designs of their planners. If you look at that, you've not got much room to write things down. I feel like it could be planned out better. Like, I'm not going to write down what I've eaten. If I was using this, I would be crossing out those 3 words just so I had extra room to put stuff in. You don't need a hydration tracker, all that could have gone down there and left a space there to put stuff. So I feel like the way some of them are planned out, they've not left much room to write on. Like, and I'm not going to schedule my day out from 6 AM. And even if I did, like say I had to do some at 7 AM, 2 PM and 3:15, I would just write the times. I don't need all that because no one's going to write something in it, all of those. So that's kind of a waste. They could take the times out, make those lines bigger. They could make the lines go across there and take that out. They could move that down there. They could make those lines across there and then just have a separate section that's to write stuff on that isn't lined. But that's just my opinion. But a lot of these planners, they don't get quite right because they're presuming everyone's going to want to write down the foods and like the liquid intake. Really, if it was just lined, they could write down the food if they wanted to. They could write down what drinks they've had if they wanted to. They could, you know, do you know what I mean? But they are good quality and I will use them. I just wish they would plan them out a bit better, which is ironic because it's a planner. So that is everything that I got. Didn't get a mug. I was hoping for a mug. And I know lots of people did get mugs. I think it just depends, but I think they basically added more boxes just to get rid of more stock. And they could have put more products in to make it a bit more better value. But like I said, they price their own products as being worth more than they actually are. And I'm sorry about the shadows, like the sun's gone behind the clouds. But I will use that planner, but it's just the way it's planned out. Ironically, I'm not going to be able to write in it the way I would write on it because of like these boxes are in the way and stuff. I also like the socks, which will get warm. I like the coaster. I'm going to start using that pretty much straight away, even though that's more of a Christmassy quote. I've got the hot chocolate spoon, which will get used. I'm just not the biggest orange chocolate fan, unfortunately. And I've just dropped the other one off on the floor, so I'm going to have to get it. I'm interested about the pumpkin spice one because it does actually sound sweet because it's got coconut sugar in it, but it also sounds like it's spicy, so I will be giving that a go. And that's what's in my box. I feel like the first round of boxes were better, but then again, I obviously didn't see what was in every box. Some people might have got boxes like this, and I feel like they'd put more on. And they basically said they weren't going to put loads on because they didn't want to end up putting just scraps of things in just to get rid of the stock. And I feel like that's a bit like this. They could have put a couple more products in or something else. Like, I don't know. I am happy with it. Do I think it's worth £18? No, I wouldn't pay £18 for this. If I saw this and I knew the contents and it was like a box, like, and you couldn't choose what was in it, obviously, I would pay £10–12 for it, but 18 I wouldn't. I just don't think for what's in here it's worth it. And these boxes, when you get a mystery box, the value is meant to be much more than what the contents are. And that, yeah, if you like it, subscribe. Have a great day and thank you for watching.